All right, guys, we're back again today, and today we're going to be talking about relay logic in depth. What we have here is a BEA BR3-X relay, and we're just going to make up a scenario, and we're just going to walk through it together and talk about what we would have to do to achieve the customer's goals. So step one, let's get the system powered up. And let's jump right in. So in our last video, we talked about these LEDs here, what they mean, the different statuses, what's going on. And if you'll see here, we have wired up input 3 to this tamper switch. So in this scenario, we're going to say that we have a customer and they have this tamper switch to monitor, we'll just say, a network rack. And now they want an indicator light whenever that rack is open. So this would be the closed position of that rack. And whenever that rack is opened, they want this indicator light to come on. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab an indicator light. I happen to have one right here on a failed 3D print. Use that as a little stand. And we're going to take this same tamper switch and we're going to use this BR3 not only to provide our activation signal and power here, but also pass the signal from this switch back to the 1320. All right, so how do we do it? Well, step one, we're going to just go ahead, just to be safe, we're going to disconnect power from our 1320. All right, so with our power disconnected, I'm going to grab my screwdriver and try to stay in frame here. And we're just going to disconnect this tamper switch from the resistor. If you remember from our last video, these are supervised inputs, so they have to have a resistor. So we're going to put our resistor right here. And we're going to go ahead and connect our tamper switch here to input 1. Hopefully y'all can see that okay. There's a little bit of glare with that light, but it's a lot better than not seeing it all in the dark. I've just noticed when I picked this up that one of the power wires jumped out. It's lovely. Oh, there's both of them. Okay, we're going to rectify that really quick. That's fine anyway. So it'll go ahead and reset the logic on this so I can show you guys how to properly program it. So these are not polarity sensitive when you connect your power. They're auto sensing. And they do have jumpers for AC and DC and then our relays. Now, one thing I didn't think about before applying power, we actually need to set these switches here to be a wet relay. So I'm just going to disconnect power from here. This is intricate to do one-handed. All right, so now that we've disconnected power, we're going to take both of these jumpers and we're going to move them to the top post and center post position. Now, with that done, while I still have power disconnected, I'm going to wire the rest of this up. So I'm just going to kind of tuck this guy out of the way. Now, we have a input and we have a light. Now remember, we want this light to only be energized when this switch is open. We're treating this switch as normally open, right? So we're going to wire this guy up. And if you read the instructions for these, BA recommends that you use your common position as your power, and then you switch ground with the other leg of the relay. So in our case, it's going to be normally closed. All right, now remember, we do need to retain this signal coming back here, and we have our resistor. So I'm going to take a little bit of jumper wire. I'm going to strip that out. And it's already connected up to the panel here on input 3. So I'm going to connect the other side to our resistor. You guys have to forgive me. I'm trying out a new camera setup, and keeping things in frame it's a new skill set for me. I'm learning. Strip out the other side. And we're going to connect this to an output. You may be thinking, well, it's an input. Well, that's correct, but an input comes from what? Some kind of interaction. So our interaction is going to be a relay changing states, which our board will see as an input. Okay, so now with all of that tidied up, we can reapply power to this relay. And our board. All right, now if we look, input 3 is active and our LED is on because right now our rack is open. If we deploy the switch, input 3 light goes out and our light goes off. If we release the switch, you can see everything goes back active. So the cabinet is in an alarm state because it is open. And then once back in that normal state, our input 3 light is off and our light is out. So this is working exactly how we would like for it to, in the proper function. Customer is happy. We've retained the functionality on the board and got the added functionality of the light. Now, I'm sure someone's already running to the comments to say, well, you could just program another relay. In some cases, maybe we couldn't. Maybe all of these relays are activated. Maybe you're in a situation where some of these relays are bad, the customer really doesn't desire, or maybe doesn't have the funds to replace the board to have, you know, the additional optional relays available. Maybe you're not dealing with a 1320. Maybe you're dealing with something smaller scale like a MR63E that only has 2 outputs on it. You can always use something like the BR3 to do this and retain signals back to your access control, add additional relays to your system. There's a number of applications for these. I just thought I would showcase a little short how-to and a one-off scenario for these. So if you like this video, if you found it interesting, let me know down in the comments. If you didn't like it, you wish something was different, let me know that too so I can get better. Anyways, guys, we'll see you in the next one.